Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video where we're going to talk about sphere volume. So remember that volume is the measurement of the amount of space inside a figure, so it's kind of the density of the figure, it's what it could hold. And remember the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. Also the surface area is surface area equals 4 pi r squared, so just take that area formula, multiply it by 4 and you get surface area. Now this volume of the sphere formula is 4/3 pi r cubed. And this again was developed by the Greek mathematician Archimedes, who determined that the volume of a sphere is exactly 2/3 of the volume of its cylinder, which is the smallest cylinder that could hold a sphere. So if you kind of think about it, I don't know how well this is going to go. If we have a cylinder here, and it's holding a sphere kind of inside like this, he was able to determine, we already had formulas for volume of a sphere, because that one's pretty simple to come up. We had formulas for volume of a cylinder, I should say. That one was pretty easy to kind of reason out, but a sphere was tougher. But what Archimedes was able to determine is that, okay, well, the smallest cylinder that can hold it has an area, volume, that is 2/3, well, the sphere is 2/3 of the volume of the cylinder. So the cylinder can hold a little bit more, but the ratio is 2 to 3, and that's how we developed this formula for the volume of a sphere. So hopefully that makes sense. Just a little history lesson of math. And the intuition is good to have that it's kind of related to the volume of a cylinder. So 4/3 pi r cubed, that's one to memorize, and 4 pi r squared is another one to memorize. But here we're just going to talk about volume. So find the volume of a sphere with a radius of 2. Well, my volume formula, just plug and chug, pi r cubed. So now I'm going to get V equals 4/3 pi times 2 cubed. What's 2 cubed? Well, that's 2 times 2 times 2 is going to be 8. So we'll get 32 divided by 3, because that's 4 times 8 divided by 3 pi. And that's going to be my answer. Can't simplify that anymore. So that's all there is to that question. So when they give us the radius, it's pretty easy either way, surface area or volume. So now find the radius of a sphere with volume 256 pi divided by 3 yards cubed. Okay, so 256 pi, I'm just going to plug that into my formula for V equals, I know my formula is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so now our job is to get r by itself, right? Because that's what we have to do. Okay, so first step I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of that denominator there. And then actually that's going to cancel out too, so that's nice. So I'm going to get left with 256 pi equals 4 pi r cubed. Okay, now I want to get r by itself, so I'm going to divide by 4 pi now. And the pi's are easy, they're going to cancel right out. So now I have 256 divided by 4. What does that equal? Well, let's think of something, well, what can be multiplied 4 times to get 256? That's going to be 64. So 64 equals r cubed. So now we have r cubed is 64, so now we take the cube root of both sides. And so we get r equals the cube root of 64. And let's think about what cube root is. That means what number can I multiply by itself 3 times to get to 64? So if you don't really know where to start, a good way to start is just by counting up. So let's start with 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, so that's too low. Let's try 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, still too low. Let's try 4. 4 times 4 times 4, that gives me 64. So that means r is going to be 64. Or r is going to be 4, because it's the cube root of 64, which we just determined was 4. Because 4 times 4 times 4 gives me 64. So that means the cube root of 64 is 4. And that's the radius of the sphere that has the volume 256 pi over 3. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you kind of understand the intuition of the cube a little bit, because you'll have to do that a lot with volume of spheres. And hopefully you understand what the formulas are and just memorize those too. And we'll have another video where we just do practice with surface area and volume, going back and forth, etc. And so thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you have a good understanding of sphere volume. Have a good one.